Hello everyone, welcome to Explaining Sales. In this series of videos, we will explore PowerShell, and in this video, I will show you some of the most common PowerShell commands that you can use to get started on PowerShell right away. Now this video will not include any new concepts, just commands, and I will use them in most basic form just to show you the kind of output you will get after running these commands, and this video will serve as a cheat sheet for future references. Now let's get into it. The first command is get help. It accesses the help system. Get help, get service. Now the next command is get command. It searches for commands. Now let's search for commands that has event in their names. Get command, event. Now the next command is get child item. It lists directory contents. Let's run get child item. Now the next command is set location. It changes the current directory. Let's go to the desktop directory. Set location, desktop. Now the next command is new item command. It creates a new item file or folder. Let's create a new file, new item, new file.txt. The type is file. Now the next command is out file command. It redirects output to a text file. Let's redirect the output of get child item to a text file. Let's go back to a directory, get child item, and let's redirect it to directory.txt, and let's put it in desktop folder. Let's go to desktop. Now if we list the contents of this directory, here is it, directory.txt. Now the next command is export CSV. It saves output as a CSV file. Now let's save the output of get process to a CSV file. And name it process.csv. Now if we again list the contents of this directory, we see our file right here. Now the next command is convert to HTML. It converts output to HTML file. Now let's convert the output of get child item to a HTML file. Get child item. Let's convert it to HTML and let's name it .html. Now the next command is get member. It lists object properties and methods. Now let's get all the properties for the command get service. Get service. Let's pipe it to get member. And now the next command is get process. It shows running processes. Just run get process. And here is the list of running processes. Now the next command is get content. It reads content of a file. Now let's list the contents of this directory and read the content of directory.txt. Get content, directory.txt, and here is the content of directory.txt file. Now the next command is set content. It replaces file content. Let's replace what's in new file.txt and set content, new file. Let's add this is new text. Now if we get the content of new file, get content, new file, we see the text we just added. Now the next command is add content. It appends text to a file. Let's append something to the new file. Add content, new file. Let's add this is new line. And again if we get the content of this file, get content, new file. Here are two lines of text. Now the next command is clear host, which clears the PowerShell screen. Clear host. Now the next command is measure object. It measure properties like word count. Let's get the word count of the new file that's in our desktop. Let's first read what's in there. New file, and let's measure the word count. Measure object and word. There are 8 words in that file. Now the next command is select object. It select specific properties. Now let's list the running processes in my system, but only select the name, nothing else. Get process. Let's select name. Now the next command is sort object. It sorts output by property values. Now again, let's get the running processes in my system, but sort the output using the CPU utilization metric. You can also type clear only, or command plus or control plus L to clear the screen. Let's get process and sort using CPU. Now that's it. The next command is get service. It lists services on the system, so just run get service and we get the services in our system. Now the next command is stop service. There are particularly no services that I want to stop right now, but if you want, you can type stop dash service and the service name. That's it. Now you can press escape key on your keyboard to clear the line. Now the next command is get location, which shows the current directory. Get location. It's like pwd in Linux system, and it works in PowerShell too. Now the next command is write output. It just prints output to a PowerShell console. Let's write I am learning. Commands. That's it. Now the next command is read host. It prompts for user input. Read host. What's your name? And provide your name. And it prints it on the screen. Now the next command is rename item. It renames a file or folder. Let's rename the new file to something else. The rename item. New file to only new.txt. And if we list the contents of this directory, our file has been renamed. Now the next command is remove item. It deletes file or folder. Let's delete the process.csv from our desktop. Remove item, process.csv. And if we list the contents of this directory, the CSV file has been deleted. Now the next command is test path. It checks if a path exists. Now let's see if there is a folder called new folder in our desktop, and it returns false because there's nothing like new folder in our desktop. Now the next command is test connection. It sends a network ping. Let's try it. google.com. Now the next command is get alias. It lists all the PowerShell alias defined in the current shell or current session of the shell. We just type get alias. These are all the aliases that's available in the current session of this shell. Now the next command is set alias. It creates a new alias. Let's create alias for netstat command. And the value is netstat. If we run ntst, we get the result. Now the next command is remove alias. It deletes an alias. Now let's remove the alias that we just defined. Remove alias, ntst, and if we run ntst again, the ntst command is not recognized because we have removed the alias ntst. Now the next command is copy item. It copies files or directories. Let's copy new.txt to my home folder. Copy item new.txt to my home directory, that is this user folder. Now if we go back there, and list the contents of this directory. We see new.txt here. Now the next command is move item. It moves files or directories. Let's move new.txt to downloads folder. Move item new to downloads, and if we go to downloads and list the contents of this directory, we see new.txt right here. Let's go to desktop again. Now the next command is invoke web request. It retrieves content from a URL. Now let's go to Google and search for PowerShell, and let's go to images and let's copy the link address and invoke web request. The URI is what we just copied, and let's name it new image.png, or just name it PowerShell.png. And if we list the contents of this directory, we see our image right here. Now the next command is compress archive. It creates zipped file from specified files and folders. Now let's compress new.txt and PowerShell.png. Compress archive new.txt PowerShell.png, and the destination is /test.zip. And if we list the contents of this directory, we see test.zip right here. Now let's remove new and PowerShell, rm new.txt and rm PowerShell. The next command is expand archive. It extracts files from a specified zipped file. Now let's extract the zipped file that we just created. Expand archive and test.zip. Now if we list the contents of this directory, we see our extracted folder right here. If we go to that folder and list the contents of this directory again, we see our files right here. Now the next command is get date. It shows current date and time. Get date. Now the next command is set date. It changes system date and time, but I do not want to change my date and time right now, so I'll not use this command. Now the next command is get PS drive. It shows the PS drives defined in the current session of PowerShell. Get drive. Now the next command is new PS drive. It creates drives that are associated with particular data storage. Now the command is new -ps drive, but there is nothing to create right now, so I'll not be using this command. The next command is remove PS drive. This command removes a particular PS drive that are listed right here, but I do not want to remove any one of them because they are system defined, so I'll not be using this command again. Now the next command is get history. It gets the command history. The next command is clear history. It clears the command history. Clear history. Now again, if we type get history, we see that our history has been removed. Now the next command is start transcript. It starts recording session to output file. Start transcript. Now let's type in some commands. Get history. Let's clear this. Again, let's go to desktop. Let's list the contents of this directory, and that's it. Now the next command is stop transcript. It stops recording the session output. With the previous command, we started the recording, so now let's stop it. Stop transcript. Now if we go to this specified location, we can see our transcript right there. Let's go there. cd documents. list. The file is right here, and if we read the contents of that file, get content PowerShell, this is our text file. See, the get history command, the ls command that we use has been recorded and saved it to a particular location. Now the next command is get ps provider. It lists available providers for accessing data. Get provider, not profile, sorry. Provider. Now the next command is get event log. It retrieves event log entries from Windows event logs. So type get event log and let's retrieve system logs. Now these are some of the commands that you can use to get started with PowerShell right away. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.